Hi friends, this is C. Ashwini Rastogi. I am expert in international taxation. So I am very in depth analyzing the UAE corporate tax law. Right now I am discussing anti-money laundering law. So what is overall anti-money laundering law? In 2018, UAE has come up with the anti-money laundering law. There are certain compliances in terms of your KYC. They usually ask your passport. Suppose you go to the jewelry shop, you buying the jewelry, they ask your passport. So this type of KYC is required. After that, the entity will do the your screening. If you are your name is matching from the software, that is Go AML software using by the Financial Intelligence Unit by the UAE. If your name is appearing in that list, they will do detailed analysis. They will file STR. If you are potential customer, they will file SAR. If you come from some countries that is high risk countries, Iran, Myanmar, so they will also file high risk transaction also. So today we will discuss what are the compliances, what are the penalty point of view also. So we will discuss now. So let me tell you more about the UAE anti-money laundering law. So what is the money laundering? So money laundering and the financing the terrorism are the crime. So proceeds from illegal activity, or you don't know where this money has come from. So that is money laundering. You can't pay to another entity and another entity to another entity. So proceed from illegal activity is not allowed to anybody. So that will threaten the security and stability, integrity of the global economy of a financial system. So financing the terrorism is also a crime. So this law has been enacted in UAE in 2018. So they have also come up with the regulation by the cabinet. So this is the UAE website, UAE Financial Intelligence Unit. They is closely monitoring you. What is where the proceed of illegal activity is moving around. So as an entity in the UAE, you have to report in the Go AML software. So what is the Go AML software? I will also go in detail. So this is the responsibility for in the UAE. If you are dealing in the metal or stone, that means you are a jewelers in the UAE. You have to take a passport from the customer. You have to report. Might be possible your name is appearing in the UNSC list. We will discuss what is the list. Those is published at the UAE website. And suppose you are dealing in the real estate, you have to also follow the AML compliances. Any money taken from the customer, you have to report whether your name is appearing in the AML list, sanction list. As a corporate tax payer, you are also required. So any transaction having worth exceed 50,000 dirham require AML CFT obligation to comply. So as a organization, first of all, we have to make a policy and control procedure for the AML. After that, we have to take a KYC. KYC from the customer, those are onboarding customer or those are ongoing customer. Suppose any customer come before us, you before dealing with that customer, you have to take a information, documentation, whether your name is appearing in the list. If your name is exactly match, you have to report in STR form. this is screening. Definitely after the getting a KYC, you have to screening. After that, you have to risk profile. Those are high risk customer or those are medium risk, low risk. So after categorize the risks in the respect of high risk, you have to go for detailed due diligence. So submit the STR. If your name, you find the customer is name is matching in the list, you have to file suspicious transaction report. So if you are also you are going to deal with the customer, that is your potential customer, you have not done any type of transaction, you have to file suspicious activity report. So STSAR is in respect of potential customer. So record keeping, you have to comply or maintain your record for 5 years and repeat this process. Suppose you dealing customer right now, you have to maintain documentation and process is going on. So what is the GoML? This is the software using by the UAE government. FIU, they are using GoML software. You have to get a registration. So this process is come by the circular 8/2021. You are an entity in the UAE, you have to get a registration with the UAE FIU. So in the GoML software, first step you have to register and then you have to get a do the screening of the customer, get KYC and update. So you have to appoint AML Compliance Officer. So AML Compliance Officer, there is no eligibility criteria. Any person who know the decree law and regulation can be AML Compliance Officer. So what is the role of Compliance Officer? They have to maintain policy for anti-money laundering law, detection of fraud. So his mind should be in the form of to identify the suspicious transaction and identify the risks and how to mitigate that risk. So involving money laundering law and financial transaction, internal investigation, reporting to the senior management. Once they have found there is a suspicious activity is happening with the customer, they have to report to the senior management. So what is the reporting requirement is that STR, as I intimate to you, suspicious transaction report with the customer, you have found the name is in the matching list, you have to file STR. SCR, if you are going to deal with some new customer, ongoing activities that you have not deal anything, you will find there is a partial match from the list or the customer name is matched with the exact match from the list, you have to file SAR report. And fund freeze report is also there. You will find this transaction happen, so you will report to the GoML software that fund will be freeze. And this is the high risk countries. There are 8-9 high risk countries. Those is Iran, Myanmar. So if you are dealing with those customers, those are resident in particular country, you have to report HRC, HRCA report. So DPMSR is also required to report. REAR is in respect of real estate transaction. Those broker or developer has to report in the REAR reporting format. So AML risk assessment is for onboarding customer or ongoing customer. Suppose you are already have a customer database, some customer is add-on regular basis, you have to check whether is there any name is added in the sanction list. So on continuous basis, on ongoing basis, you have to maintain your data, whether is there any customer is matching with the potential with the sanction list, or suppose new customer is joining to you. Onboarding screening is required. So business overview with respect to product, customer, countries and staff, third party. This is the overall AML Compliance Officer has a duty to overview the business, identify the risk scenario, assess which money laundering and financial transaction, profiler fund risks may be concerned. So determine the likelihood of occurrence, how much you find that this risk will be involved, and resulting business impact, whether it is negligible or limited risk or significant loss to the entity. So you have to determine the status of those risks, as a assess the level of internal control, whether the internal control is exist in your organization, the internal control is strong or ineffective. So is there internal control is not exist in the organization, you have to check as a compliance officer. So determination of additional measure or action to be taken to reduce the risks. So this is the policy we have to maintain. Any organization should have a policy to identify the risk. If risk is identified, how you will mitigate that risk, onboarding customer screening, and if you find there is some transaction is happen, then how you will report that suspicious transaction. And record keeping is also important. There is a 5-year requirement is there to maintain the record for those. So friends, we are discussing KYC. Suppose you are dealing with any person, you must know your customer. Documentation is required, and after the getting a documentation, scrutiny assessment is required. So when this documentation is required, when the new customer before starting the business, or existing customer is there suspicious as to money laundering or terrorism funding, change in the client information. So it might be possible day to day GoAML FIU has a change updating their list. So once you subscribe those lists on monthly basis, you will get notification, this name is added to the list, this name is deleted from the list. So this list is available at the website. So this is the website uaiec.gov.ae. So where we can found sanction list. So for screening the procedure, we have to download this list, and also subscribe UN and local sanction mailing to our mail, whether the name is exact match with the existing customer or potential customer, or name is partially match. So how we will check? We will check name check. After the getting the name check, we have to see is there freeze fund is required or reject the transaction, because some transaction is going to happen with the exact match customer. So you don't accept that transaction. So you have to reject the transaction and submit the STR report with the FIU. So this screening is required for customer as well as employee. Before recruiting any employee, you have to check whether you are taking employee is clean, and is there any criminal or any proceeding is pending before him. You have to onboarding any employee, you have to screen those employee as well as vendor. So customer risks might be possible. Existing customer you will find already in the match, you will report as a low risk customer. So this is the customer risk we have to. So any transaction having worth exceeding 55,000 dirham, you require to follow AML and CFT transaction compliances. So this is the screening is required. Once you get a KYC, you will follow the risks and detailed due diligence. Once you triggered, there is a transaction is going to happen with the risky customer, you have to do elaborated due diligence. So first of all, you have to, there should be a red flag in your system. Your system should be enabled some internal control. You have going to deal with the customer and those name is appearing in the sanction list, so you will get a red flag. So those high risky customer, you have to do detailed due diligence. So AML reporting is concerned, you have to report STR, SAR. STR in respect of ongoing customer through which you have already done the transaction, but you identified as a suspicious transaction, you have to report. SAR in respect of onboarding customer, those are newly customer, you have identified those customer, our name is already appearing in the sanction list, you have to report in SAR reporting. So high risk customer transaction, as I said, there are some countries, Myanmar, Iran, those countries customer has to report in the HRC report, and HRCA report is also required in respect of high risk country. So there is a DP MSR report, those are dealing in the metal or stone, precious stone. If you are a jewelers, you are selling your jewelry more than 55,000 dirham, so you have to any transaction you are dealing with any customer, first of all you have to take a KYC. That is not required for only for 55,000. Even you are dealing with any customer, you have to take a KYC. So these are in respect of precious metal and stones. Fund freeze report, once you triggered your confirm match with your transaction with the potential customer is appearing in the sanction list, you have to fund freeze and even reject the transaction. If you find some surname is match, in that case you will find PNMR, partial name match report. As I said, real estate transaction has to report in REAR, REAR. So this is the AML reporting is in GoAML software, that is in UAE FIU software. So this is the GoAML software using by the UAE. So record keeping, you have to maintain your record for 5 years. Suppose your inspection happened today, but there is a lapse of 3 years back, you have to maintain another 5 years. So in totality, you have to maintain your documentation. Your documentation should be a robust documentation. Anybody can ask before 5-year transaction. So for 5 years is a complete maintenance of documentation. So this is the procedure we have to do for any anti-money laundering law is tell about. So ministry has also very stringent penalty release. There are 26 penalty that is ranging from 50,000 dirham to 5 million dirham. So penalty is concerned, there is a huge penalty. You should follow anti-money laundering law, and compliances, reporting, record keeping, everything is important. So we are a team of expert in corporate law that is already been in place, implemented in the UAE. We are also expert in anti-money laundering law. Any query, anything, you can approach before us. Hope so you will like this video and you will share and subscribe. Thank you.